here in Burslem in Stoke-on-Trent in Live and Learn Land, which is a UK online centre, and we're helping local community activists get online and create new websites to express themselves. This is maybe the fourth or fifth workshop we've run on to talk about local. The turnout here is really good. We've got some people who run some excellent local sites in the room, helping each other, as well as people who've never really been online much before, basically proficient in email but have never considered publishing on the web. And it's going pretty well. One of the unusual things we had at this session, and I knew it would happen somewhere, we had a couple of people from who'd left the BNB because it was too soft, and I had to very gently but firmly ask them to leave because I'm just not having any truck with that sort of thing in this project.
And this is really not formal learning, is it? There's no curriculum here. People are just following their enthusiasms and learning from each other.
Yeah, and that's the best way, because the web isn't technically difficult anymore. It's about overcoming people's fears and confidence. So in the majority of cases, strict formal curricula don't work for that. But there's still quite a lot of people who like a more traditional pedagogic approach, where they're given some handouts and some course material to follow. So I think for people who are comfortable with the web and think that just about anyone can do it, occasionally you need to adjust your set and think about people who learn in more traditional ways, because there's an awful lot of them around.
Can we go and ask a couple of people you've been talking to what they've been discovering? Let's go and see what people might like to say.
That's just one that's generated by the system. Sure, you can have comments.
So, I hope you don't mind, we're doing a bit of impromptu video for this session, is that okay? And we're just interviewing people who are taking part. So, I wonder if you could introduce yourself to the camera.
I'm Carolyn Powell, and I'm the BizFizz business coach for Burslem.
And what brought you along this evening, Carolyn?
I was interested in how this can work, the connecting of people and the linking of information for my project and also for people that I meet in this area.
And how have you found it so far? Was it as tricky as you thought?
No, it's actually a lot simpler than I thought. And it's really interesting because I've been quite fearful of certain aspects of doing this because not really understanding how it works. And Mike's going to show me how it works.
Thank you. I'm really pleased. Mike, do you want to quick word with Mike? Mike, you helped Tony run one of Stoke's more remarkable website, Pits and Pots. And how have you found this session here this evening?
It's interesting. It's been able to, the knowledge that we've gained from a year of working on Pits and Pots, being able to sort of share that and tell people some of the pitfalls to look out for, because it's not all plain sailing all the time.
Cool. Thank you.
I think I was talking over here to Bob, I think, who was been showing other people what's been happening with the church site.
Well, we're doing a little impromptu video of this session. Do you mind being recorded? Are you okay? Are you camera shy, or would you like to introduce yourself to the camera and explain what you're up to?
Well, I'm just acquainting myself with WordPress here because you recommended it a month ago. I'm having my first look. It's been in my diary since then.
And how are you finding it?
Well, I'm just reading about it, so it's too early days. I've been used to using the free one from BT, which is this one. Sorry. That's hosted on BT and Recipero, so it's for community groups. It's free if you want to have BTIK in the name. So, but it's very easy to do. And so, in a couple of hours on a Sunday, I just set up 3 buttons and then handed it over to the local church, and they've added the rest.
That's very impressive. And have you've been? Do you think you'll stick with that, or are other ways of doing it appealing to you more?
Well, we discovered since we started this that the diocese, the local Lichfield diocese, like the Staffordshire area, had actually got for all the Anglican churches in the diocese a space waiting for each church to put a website up. But they say that despite repeated reminders, they hadn't taken advantage of this. So I don't know what the problem had been, the church are getting quite enthusiastic about this. They've got a visit from the Archdeacon on Tuesday, so it enables them to say, hey, look what we've got. Now, it can be moved over to a more powerful, but I think this does the job for the time being. And if everybody in the church potentially can input to it, then that's the good thing.
Thank you very much.
Can you join us over here? This is your home territory.
It is my home area, well, sort of. I'm from down Scotia.
So, Claire, how have you've been running the session for us here today, essentially? How do you think people have got on?
It's been great. You sort of have to have a certain amount of faith with these sessions that people are just going to get going, and they do tend to. Everyone gets on a blog and they get started, and I think we've got quite a few set up, which is great. And now it'll just be about thinking of things to put on them.
And what do you think of you can have a good session like this, and in some ways that's the easy part. How do you think going forward will help people sustain and support more sites?
I think we have to network them together, so it's going to be about people sort of reinforcing each other's work on the sites, and hopefully it'll be about people making the link between them being able to publish online and then being able to get a message over to, whether it's to the council getting in touch with them about stuff going on, or whether it's other people within their community who they might not have been connected to before.
And which of the things you've seen here today did you like the most? What's the most interesting thing you've seen someone done?
It's nice to see Sophia sort of create her third blog post. I think that shows that it's something that can keep going. Otherwise, just don't know really. It's just nice to see some few new people, and people who are exchanging ideas about different types of sites as well at this session.